Let me guess, you've seen them too. Those videos flooding your feed claiming that air travel is completely changing in 2026. New restrictions, shrinking carry-on sizes, global bans on what you can bring aboard, millions of views, thousands of panicked comments, and almost all of it? Complete garbage. Here's what nobody's telling you. These viral scare videos are mostly generated by AI content farms designed to rack up views while spreading outdated or flat-out false information. And I'm done watching travelers stress over rules that don't even exist. So today I'm cutting through the noise and giving you the actual facts about carry-on luggage in 2026. What's real, what's recycled fear-mongering, and exactly what you need to know to breeze through the airport without second-guessing yourself. And if you find this helpful, smash that like button and subscribe because I'm here to make your travel life easier, not more complicated. Let's end this confusion once and for all. Section 1. The big lie about global standards. First, let's tackle the biggest myth circulating right now. The supposed global carry-on size standard coming in 2026. This does not exist. Period. There is no worldwide committee meeting in a secret airport hangar deciding that every airline must now use the same carry-on dimensions. It's not happening. Not in 2026. Not ever. Because the aviation industry doesn't work that way. Now, does this mean airlines never change their policies? Of course not. Individual carriers adjust their allowances from time to time. Some tightened restrictions in 2025. Others might tweak theirs this year, but here's the critical difference. These are isolated airline decisions, not some coordinated global conspiracy to shrink your luggage space. The truth is, most airlines within the same region tend to cluster around similar dimensions anyway. North American carriers generally hover around 22 by 14 by 9 inches. European budget airlines often go slightly smaller. Asian carriers sometimes allow a bit more. But this isn't new. These patterns have existed for years. So what should you actually do? Simple. Check your specific airline before every trip. Not what some random video told you. Not what worked last year with a different carrier. Your actual airline's current policy. I've compiled a comprehensive spreadsheet covering 75 of the world's most popular airlines, organized by their carry-on allowances, complete with bag recommendations that actually fit each size category. I've also created a quick compliance checker where you can input your bag's exact dimensions and instantly see which airlines will accept it. Both tools are completely free. No email sign-up required, linked in the description below. These resources took me weeks to research and compile, so if you find them valuable, the best way to support this work is simply hitting that like button. It's free, takes half a second, and tells YouTube to show this video to more people who need real information instead of clickbait panic. Section 2. The measuring myth. Next up, the bizarre claim that airlines are now including wheels and handles in their carry-on measurements. This has always been the case. Always. I don't know where this suddenly became breaking news, but airlines have measured bags including all protruding parts for as long as carry-on luggage has existed. Your wheels count. Your handles count. That cute decorative buckle sticking out? That counts too. This is precisely why I always recommend bags with flat, recessed handles rather than those bulky exposed ones that add unnecessary inches. It's not a new hack, it's just smart shopping, based on rules that have been in place forever. Now here's where things get slightly more interesting. The enforcement of these existing rules does vary, and there is one legitimate development worth knowing about: automated carry-on sizers. Some airports have started using electronic devices with laser measurements instead of those metal sizing bins you're used to. These lasers don't care about your ability to squish, stuff, or angle your bag into submission. They measure precisely. But before you panic, here's the loophole. These automated sizers are only at check-in counters, not at gates. They're pre-security. So if you're traveling carry-on only, simply check in online, get your boarding pass electronically, and head straight to security when you reach the airport. You'll bypass the automated sizer completely, and honestly, so far I've only confirmed these exist at Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver international airports. I cannot find evidence of widespread use in the United States or Europe. If you've personally encountered one of these electronic sizers at any other airport, drop a comment below with the location. I want to track this and keep everyone updated. Here's something even better. Some airlines are moving in the opposite direction. In October 2025, American Airlines actually started removing bag sizers from gates altogether to speed up boarding. Their size limits haven't changed, but gate agents now do quick visual assessments instead, only flagging bags that are obviously oversized. And even when automated sizers are used, there's flexibility. Air Canada's own website states that non-compliant baggage is subject to applicable fees. Subject to, not automatically charged, not guaranteed to be gate checked. Subject to the agent's discretion. Translation: if your bag is slightly over, you're polite and willing to remove an item if needed, many agents will still wave you through. Kindness and common sense go a long way. Section 3. Personal items and the enforcement reality. Let's talk about personal items because this is where the misinformation gets really wild. No, personal items are not shrinking across all airlines. Yes, dimensions vary significantly between carriers, and no, there is not a universal standard here either. In my extensive testing experience, personal item sizing is the most loosely enforced aspect of carry-on travel. I've reviewed dozens of bags, and whenever possible, I test them in actual airline sizers. Here's what I've learned. Personal item sizers are incredibly rare at gates. Why? Because airlines simply don't prioritize enforcing these limits the same way they do with overhead bin luggage. I've used bags that don't quite fit the official sizer dimensions, but easily slide under the seat, which is what actually matters. The main exception, ultra-budget carriers, or when you've purchased the absolute cheapest fare tier that only permits a personal item. In those specific scenarios, yes, they'll scrutinize your bags more carefully. But on most major North American and European airlines, if sizers come out at the gate, they're for carry-on bags and overhead bins, not personal items. And typically, this only happens for passengers in the final boarding groups. Pro tip: if you're nervous about scrutiny, don't buy tickets that put you in the last boarding zone. Splurge for priority boarding or check in exactly 24 hours before your flight to secure an earlier boarding position. And here's an insider trick. Dark-colored bags are your friend. Just like darker clothing is slimming on people, a stuffed black or navy bag is far less noticeable than a bright white or pastel one bulging at the seams. It's simple visual psychology, but it works. Section 4. Who actually checks your bags? This is crucial to understand. TSA and airport security do not care about your bag size or quantity. Read that again, because this confuses so many travelers. Security personnel are screening for dangerous items, weapons, prohibited liquids, potential threats. They're not counting your bags or measuring dimensions. That's not their job. Could they theoretically flag you for trying to X-ray a full-size checked suitcase? Sure, because that's absurdly obvious. But a standard carry-on roller, a backpack, a purse, a jacket, and a bag of airport cookies? Totally fine. They're going to make you separate everything into individual bins anyway for screening. The people who care about bag size and quantity are gate agents at your departure gate. They're the ones boarding passengers and ensuring overhead bin space isn't overwhelmed. As long as you can consolidate your items into 2 total bags, one clearly sized for the overhead bin, and one obviously small enough to fit under the seat in front of you, you'll board without issues. If you want a deeper dive into this system, I have a complete video tutorial about my personal airport bag strategy, linked in the cards above. Section 5. Weight limits and smart packing. Weight limits have always existed for carry-ons. This isn't new for 2026, and I haven't seen any airlines announcing stricter enforcement. The best defense here is simple. Pack lighter and choose lightweight luggage. If you need an ultralight roller, I recommend the Antler Soft Side or the Brix X Travel Spinner. Both are significantly lighter than popular hardshell options while remaining durable. I'm not a backpack-only traveler, so when I need wheels without the weight penalty, these are my go-to choices. Beyond your bag choice, here are my 2 most effective strategies for dealing with strict weight limits. First, pack merino wool clothing whenever possible. It's lightweight, naturally odor-resistant, which means you can wear items multiple times between washes, and it dries incredibly fast when you do need to clean it. Fewer clothes needed, less weight carried, more outfit versatility. I'll link some of my favorite merino pieces in the description. Saki, if buying at your destination isn't feasible, challenge yourself on quantities. You'd be amazed how little product you actually use in 1 or 2 weeks when you're honest about it. I'm currently working on an updated toiletries video since my previous one, despite being one of my most viewed, is now a couple years old. Make sure you're subscribed so you catch that when it drops. Section 6. Liquids and power banks. Liquids remain the most confusing and genuinely evolving area of carry-on travel. Most airports still enforce the standard 1-quart-sized clear bag with containers no larger than 100 milliliters or 3.4 ounces. However, some airports with upgraded scanners no longer require you to remove this bag during screening. Here's the complication. If you have a connecting flight, you might go through security again at an airport with different technology and different procedures. So, regardless of your departure airport's rules, always pack your liquids bag somewhere easily accessible. This single habit will save you enormous hassle. Now, power banks. This isn't new for 2026, but it's critical. Power banks cannot go in your overhead carry-on. They must stay with you in your underseat bag, where you can quickly access them if there's an issue. For compliance, stick with power banks rated at 10,000 milliamp hours or less. I've linked the exact model I use in every trip in the description below. I'm also seeing more luggage brands selling bags with built-in power banks. July Luggage offers this, for example. My honest opinion, it makes your suitcase unnecessarily heavy, and a separate power bank is far more versatile. You can use it anywhere, not just when your specific bag is with you. If you're shopping for carry-on luggage, I'd skip this feature entirely. July makes excellent bags without the built-in batteries anyway. Conclusion. Look, air travel has enough legitimate complications without invented ones adding to your stress. The carry-on sky's not falling in 2026. Most of what you've seen in those viral panic videos is either completely false, wildly exaggerated, or has been standard policy for years. Check your specific airline before each trip. Use the free compliance checker and airline spreadsheet I've linked below. Pack smart with lightweight gear and merino wool. Keep your liquids accessible and your power bank in your personal item. That's it. That's the real story. For ongoing updates about actual travel changes, not manufactured drama, sign up for my free newsletter linked in the description. I share practical tips, honest gear reviews, and early access to giveaways throughout the year. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Now go book that trip with confidence.